Colonel Sati was born on 20th August 1964. He completed his post-graduation in botany from Lucknow University. He was posted at the Kargil sector as a regular officer of the Indian Army. In his 33 years of army service in 9th Garhwal Rifles of Garhwal Regiment, he rendered his services at Jamnagar, Harshil, which is an Indo-Tibet border, Srinagar, Hyderabad, AATS, Agra, and Assam reliefs, where he has become an instrument in organizing stress management cum de-addiction workshops. Since July 1983, he came into contact with Brahmakumaris and he started practicing the meditation since then, and it's like almost 4 decades. After the retirement from the Indian Army in November 22, he started rendering godly services as a security in charge of Brahmakumaris. He is also the National Coordinator of Security Service Wing of Brahmakumaris. So let's once again welcome Sati Ji Garu. Over to you.
Om Shanti. Good evening. To know about peace from a army person like me would be a bit strange. But then, definitely, when you come to know about spirituality at a young age, the roots of spirituality take its place in your mind, and thereby, whatever you are in your life, that base remains very strong, and it guides you in your life. So, when I was 18 years old, I was in Lucknow University, and I was doing my graduation. So I happened to, see one of the small museums of the Brahmakumaris. Then I was 18 years old. And till then I was a very strong disciple of Hanumanji. So, but then when I got to know about meditation and Raj Yoga meditation and about the Brahmakumaris, and for 3-4 days, we, here have 1 week course. The moment you get introduced to Brahmakumaris, they will request you to do 1 week course. So I was also told, and on the 4th day, I got a divine intuition that this is the path that you should follow, and it is the true path. And I could, logically come to a conclusion that yes, it is, and I will follow. Though, as I said, I was as young as 18 years. But then, being a university student, I started following it, and I started practicing Raj Yoga meditation. Till then, I was a very mediocre student in my studies, and my biggest weakness was that I couldn't concentrate on my studies. I used to sit maximum 2 hours in a day for my studies, and my aggregate percentage in classes was 50%, maybe 55% when I was working hard. So I was just a mediocre student, average student. But the moment I joined the Brahmakumaris, and I was told that there is a meditation you can do here, and in which you have to have the thought process that you are a soul in between the forehead, the light, the eternal light, the immortal light, and you can connect to the supreme power, the supreme light, and who is the ocean of virtues and powers. And through that connection, you can empower, you can fill yourself. So I started slowly that practice, and slowly I got empowered. And from 2 hours, I built down to 12 hours. And I could study very nicely. And my father was in the Indian Navy, and I have studied in Bombay, Cochin, and Goa. And but whenever my father, people used to ask my father that, what is your, thought about your son? That is about me. So he used to say that I have hardly much expectation from this son, because he is very, very, naughty, and he doesn't concentrate. And even if he becomes a clerk in his life, it will be a big achievement for me. But then, that time I was not into meditation. I was very, very, naughty child. But the moment I started, moving into the spiritual lifestyle. So when we say spiritual lifestyle, it means you have understood who are you. That is the spirit, the light within. And then with that as a focus, you start building up. मैं इंग्लिश में बोल रहा हूँ, कुछ हिंदी भी बोलना है कि इंग्लिश बोलते रहे? चलेगा? सबको समझ में आ रहा है? ओके. So I with that spiritual base, I started moving ahead. And slowly I saw that I have become more calm, more matured, more sincere, more focused. And so I was, in meditation, what is it? What is meditation? Do you know? Meditation is a talk between the self and the supreme. It is a talk. It is nothing, something very complex that we have made it today. I can't concentrate my mind. It is very tough. How to sit in meditation. This is all, we make such statements, but there is no requirement to make such statements in meditation. Meditation is something like a communication. Like I'm sitting in front of you all, I'm meditating with you all. As of now, you all are meditating with me. And in this meditation, we are, communicating with each other. I am speaking and you are listening. And this communication is building up a relationship between us. So in future, wherever you will meet me, so we will say me, hello sir, how are you? So I'll say, I'm very fine. Now if I am in some position, so in case I can help you, then you come to me, okay, sir, can you help me? So I'll say, why not? Because now we have built a relation. So I can help you. In the same way, in meditation, we have a relation with the Supreme Power, who is the Supreme Father. For all the people whom we are seeing with these eyes on the world stage, irrespective of the country, the whole world as such. So everyone is under his command. So if you are with him, you are with everyone. This is how I have seen things work when you are a spiritual man. So with spirituality in life, I started building up this spirituality. And I used to meditate and I used to communicate with the God. So when I was doing MSc, so I was not clear what will I do in my life. So while I was in class 9th, I lost my father. He served due to leukemia. He expired. And we were 2 brothers and 3 sisters. So my mother was very worried as to what will happen now in future. But then, luckily we had a joint family and we moved back to our home. That is Nainital. Have you heard Nainital? Yeah, it's a very beautiful hill station. So we moved there. And my uncle, he took over the responsibility. And then I started, I was still very confused. But the moment I came into spirituality, things became a bit clearer in my life. So in meditation, I was just asking the Supreme Father, what do you see for me in my life? Because I'm still confused as to what will I do. So he gave me a very clear teaching, don't worry, you will become an officer in your life. This is how meditation works. Because you are with the Supreme and he is clearing your thoughts. He is clearing that fog which had come because of an illusion that was created by the world for you. Now that is getting clearer through that meditation and you get a clear picture. And as I said I was studying for 12 hours a day. I was preparing for IAS exams. I must have appeared in 25 exams in my life. I failed in all of them. And but in one I cleared, that was to get commission in the Indian Army. That was the exam I cleared. And in one go, I cleared the exam, and that is the written exam. Then we have a medical of 4 days, interview of 4 days. I cleared all of them. And then I was called for the training. So by that time, when I was called for the training, I had already put in 7 years as a spiritual man. And I was 24 years old. So when I came into the spiritual lifestyle, you will find that people who are spiritual are very simple. Simple in the sense, their outlook is very simple. You'll not find them very fashionable. You'll not find them boasting. You'll not find them doing too much of extravagant expenses. They'll be very quiet. But they're very mature. They'll look very straight. They have a vision in life. They can see ahead what is going to happen. That is all the beautiful results of meditation. So, and they are very vegetarian in their outlook. When we say vegetarian in their outlook, not only the food habits, they are very pure vegetarians. We call them sattvic. You know sattvic? Sattvic is without onion, garlic. Vaishnav, we बोलते हैं उसको. And secondly, they are they are teetotalers. They don't have any addiction in life. And the best part is that they don't abuse anyone. Abusive language they don't use. In today's world, we see many people use abusive language. For even a small thing, they abuse everyone and very harsh abusive language. But people who are spiritual will never use abusive language. They will never. They can be angry. Maybe they can get angry, but they will not use abusive language. So these all things in 7 years became a part of my life. You know, I was very simple, I was very polite, very humble. I used to say Om Shanti to everyone because I was a man of Om Shanti. But I had to join the Indian Army, and Indian Army is machine gun, firing, firing from every angle. You keep firing there. So when I joined the academy for my training, I was totally shocked for first 3 days because I was welcomed not with bouquets. I was welcomed with volleys and volleys and volleys of abuses, abusive language. So for me, it was very difficult to accept that. But then in meditation, what God tells us, ki there are 8 powers which I bestow on you, and amongst them, one of the powers is the power to tolerate and the power to adjust. So using that power, I quietly, accepted that difficult period, and I was very fit physically because I was from hills, the mountains. So physically, I was very good. So I completed my training, and after completing my training, I joined the Indian Army as an officer. That was in 1989, April. Now, when I joined the army, I was only for 5 years, just for 5 years. My commission was only for 5 years, that is short service. So what happens when we join the army as a short service officer? Till 5 years you can serve, and after 5 years they will watch your 5 years report. What report have you earned? And then they will see how have you performed otherwise in your various programs, courses. And then they will take a call whether to keep you in army as a permanent officer or to send you home after 5 years. Since I was a spiritual man, sincere man, because people who are spiritual, most of the time you'll find them to be very sincere people. Very sincere, very dedicated to their profession. So I was also on the same lines. Though I had no interest of continuing in army, I thought I'll leave after 5 years. But as I said to you, I lost my father. So I had 3 sisters, younger to me. And my mother had one request for me that please plan to get them married because this responsibility should not go on your uncle's shoulder. This should be on your shoulder. So I said, okay, I will take that responsibility. And but then 3 sisters are of various ages. So I thought it will take some time. So I thought, oh, these 5 years will be good enough. I will get them settled. But it didn't happen so. Only 1 sister could get married and 2 were still left. So I thought, now what to do after 5 years? So, after 5 years, we short service officers are given a form to fill. And in that form to fill, we are asked, what is your choice? Do you want to leave? Do you want extension for 5 years? Or do you want to stay permanent in the army? So I gave a very good thought. I was in Hyderabad those days. That is 92 to 95. I have served in Golconda here. So I gave a thought. Those days this branch was in Banjara Hills. So I gave a thought, and I took a personal decision that I will take an extension for 5 years. I took a personal decision because I was very happy with the Indian Army because army is very good. I'll tell you, it's a very good environment inside the army. We have a lot of respect, very good pay, very good perks. In army, you should know the army officers are respected as kings. Good culture and lot of respect for the ladies in army. So I was of the opinion, it's very good. But why I was not comfortable? Because I was a spiritual man. When I used to go for a party, because we have too many parties in the army. So what is happening in a party? Liquor, smoking, non-veg, flowing, free flow. And I don't take any of them. So I used to be aloof, though I used to always be part of the team, but I cannot join them for those things. Then my food habits are very sattvic. I want food without onion garlic. So I felt for a longer run for me, for spiritual man like me, I shouldn't stay in army. It was my personal decision. So I wrote in that form, I apply only for extension for 5 years. And I was very sure that in these 5 years, my sisters will get married. That form had to be countersigned by my commanding officer, CO. He is a commanding officer. So the form went to him. And he was watching me from last 3 years. So he called me to the office. He says, Captain Sati, I was a captain then. He says, Captain Sati, I have seen your form and you have filled for extension in the Indian Army, not for permanent commission. May I know the reason from you? So I said, sir, I have a lot of respect for the army and I'm very happy because I feel the army gives you everything. But I personally feel as a spiritual man, I'm unfit for this profession and I would leave this and do something which suits me and my lifestyle. He was watching me. He smiled. He says, Captain Sati, you must not be knowing your worth, but I know your worth. You are an asset for this Indian Army and this battalion. Why? Because you are one such officer in this battalion who doesn't have any bad habits, who is very positive, smiling, who is very well-read, very well-educated. And you are spiritual in your lifestyle. And we want officers like you in our profession. And what good thing I have seen about you, that when we have parties, so it is up to late night, 1 o'clock, even 2 o'clock, we extend these parties. We all are, having our drinks and we are happy. But I see you and you are in a corner with your lemon glass and, just smiling quietly, but very active and alert and agile. So I used to think, if anything happens right now, who will act? So it was you whom I used to rely. He can do everything because he's not drunk. He's fit. So this is how I used to see at you. So I feel you are the best. I have seen your family members. I know about you very well. You are a self-made man. So I have a very strong recommendation for you that please do not leave the army. It will help your family. It will help the Indian Army, everyone. So I do not recommend your form that you want extension. Please take it back and get it tomorrow filled that you will go for permanent commission. So I quietly left his office, but I was still confused because I thought my personal decision was the right to leave the army and he is trying to, empower me and force me. So I went to the Banjara Hills. I met Kuldeep Behan, the director of this Shanti Sarovar. So I told her, ki, sister, Om Shanti, I have come with a question before you. She says, yes. I says, I had joined the Indian Army as a short service officer for 5 years. My 5 years are completed. I have been asked, do you want to leave or extension or continue? So I have asked for extension. But now she is asking, the army is asking me to stay behind, stay and take permanent commission. And this is directly from my commanding officer. And he wants me to stay. But I am not willing. So what should I do? This is how I asked this question to Kuldeep Behan. She saw me, she smiled. She was coming from meditation room. She said, भैया आप आर्मी को नहीं छोड़ना क्योंकि आपको जो अभी आपने जो पावर एक्वायर किया है, जो स्पिरिचुअलिटी आपके लाइफ में है, it will help the Indian Army. Because the God cannot put and implant someone else for you in the army. It is very difficult for him to place someone. He has placed you with some way, in some way he has placed you. You are there inside, and if you leave, the benefit that you can give to many will not be there. So I strongly recommend, she said, that you should stay in army. And the moment she said this statement, I got an intuition that now I'll serve the army as a permanent officer. And I took a call, and next day I changed my dish form. I applied for the permanent commission, and I joined the army again as a permanent officer. So the moment I joined, I became a permanent officer. So I had completed around 6 years of service. So we were in Hyderabad itself, and we got a news that the battalion in which I was officer, that is the Garhwal Rifles, is going to Kashmir, Srinagar. And 95, 96, how was the situation in Srinagar? Very bad, very bad. Even today it is good, it's still better. But then it was very pathetic. So we got the news that we are going to Kashmir Valley, Srinagar, and we will be fighting the militants. So I was promoted as a major, and the moment we got this news, I started meditating on Kashmir. You know, there is something called as positive, spreading positive vibes. We all do. We all do. Like today, if I am told, if you know that there is a marriage in your family, if you come to know there is a function in your family, what do? You spread good vibes. And whomsoever you meet will say, आप मेरे लिए प्रार्थना करना, है ना, pray for us, है ना, everything goes good. है ना, we say these things. What is it? It is a process of, in advance, giving vibrations to that place or event before you go for that function. So before going to Kashmir, I started giving positive vibes to the Kashmir Valley, to the place where we were going. So we were going in a very, very, militant infested area. It was a very, village. It was a village nearby Srinagar Valley. And very, very, the reports of that village were not very good. We had come to know that the battalion whom we were replacing, the team which we were replacing, had already lost 3 officers and around 25 of its Jawan. This we came to know. And we were going to replace that battalion in a nearby village near the city. But then I was just meditating, whatever it is, we have to go now, the orders are there. But can you believe, just 10 days before we were about to finally leave, order comes that there is a change in the location of the battalion, and now the battalion will not go to that village, it will go to Srinagar town proper. That is the capital of Jammu Kashmir. So it is better than a village. You are in a city now. Though insurgency is there, militancy is still there, but it is not that like in a village. Because in village, what happens? Militants get a free run. Army is far, police is far, so they get a free run. But in the city, they are restricted because every place there is army, BSF, police, so they are not free to move. So the moment we reached Srinagar Valley, we were given a 1-month training, and then we were told, okay, launch and catch militants. Now, militants in Kashmir Valley are not roaming around like we roam around in the city of Hyderabad. They are always in disguise. A militant will never use his weapon and say, I am a militant. Please, he will come and sit with you, he'll have a cup of tea with you. But you will never come to know he was a militant. He will be so sweet with you. But he is a militant. He is doing his all operations, but he is just waiting for the time to, shoot you, or kill you, or harm you. So in everything, when we people who, are spiritual in their lifestyle, what we do? What is our formula of success? That in every act, rather every thought, we take the help of God. We communicate with Him. Since we know He is the Supreme, so that communication helps and gives us divine intuition to work better. So when we were there in Kashmir Valley, so I'll just tell you the result of 2 years. We were 5 companies of the battalion, 5 companies in a battalion. And in those 5 companies, my company was, I was the youngest major. And I was given a place near Lal Chowk. You all know Lal Chowk, it is very famous. And I was given a place near there. And we were independently located. And in my company, in those 2 years, did a fantastic job by catching around 40 militants. And we caught 8 AK rifles, 7 pistols, and good amount of ammunitions. We also caught 3 ladies who were supporting the militants and had kept their weapons with them. And but in those 2 years, can you believe the power of meditation? We had no direct encounter of firing with the militants. Despite we did so many operations, maybe more than 50, 60, 70 operations, but never we had a direct confrontation with any militant firing, that is one-to-one firing. And neither we had any casualty. When you say casualty, that means I did not lose any of my Jawan. See, when we lose a Jawan, though the Indian government does so much for a Jawan these days, एक पेट्रोल पंप मिलता है उसको, करीब करीब 2 करोड़ के करीब राशि मिलती है, उसकी वाइफ को पूरी तनख्वाह दी जाती है, बच्चों को फ्यूचर मिलता है, सरकारी मकान मिलता है, बहुत कुछ देती है. बट फॉर दैट लेडी losing the husband is losing the world, है ना. You give her anything, for her it doesn't make a big difference in her life. तो इसलिए हमने ये सोचा था कि we shouldn't lose any jawan, and luckily meditation का power worked very well. So I'll just tell you one example of how I as a spiritual man used to do operations. So what is my lifestyle since last 40 years? I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. This is my lifestyle. I get up at 4 o'clock. I meditate for half an hour. Then I get fresh, go for some exercise. Then we have some meditational studies, some literature, spiritual studies I do. And then around 8:30 after my breakfast, 9 I'm in my office. Till 4:30 we are in the office. During that time, from last 10 years, I do not take tea and coffee. So I drink around 1 liter of water in the morning, and thereafter I do not require anything for the whole day. So I just quietly walk, or I keep moving around in my office area, compound. And then in the evening I do meditation for half an hour, try to do for half an hour. And by around 10:30 I go for rest. So this is my lifestyle. And whatever time I get in between, I spend in positive thinking, helping people, counseling people, meeting my jawans. This is how I spend my time. So in Kashmir also, I kept my routine straight, and I used to do my meditation and all that. And whenever I used to go for my office, for an operation, so I used to just sit for few seconds, few minutes in meditation. And then I used to go. Why I used to do all these drills? These are called drills, divine drills. Why these drills? Because they help you to be more stronger from within and take quick, correct, wise and winning decisions. So for an army officer, very important for us is to take decisions, very important. So one day, I'll just tell you one example how I caught a militant, and how the blessings of militants are working for me in my life even today. Though normally when we catch a militant, we have a simple aim to shoot him and to kill him. That is what we think, because he has given a weapon, so we shoot him. But I had a different approach in life. Ki, in case he has become a militant because of some pressure or misguidance, and he wants to come on the right path, so he should be given a chance. This was my way of looking at things. So one day at afternoon, 12 o'clock, I was in my office. A boy, a class 12th boy, comes to me. He says, "Ki, sir, I have information for you. Ki, there is a militant in a village nearby, and if you are interested, we can catch him. And he has got a weapon with him, that is a pistol." So I says, "Is your information confirmed?" He says, "Pakka, is confirmed." Because many times we used to go for operations to catch a militant, but nothing comes in hand. We used to come empty-handed. So I prepared my team. There were 14 of them, 2 vehicles. I had my helmet. You've got bulletproof helmet, bulletproof jacket. My combat dress, that is the dress which we wear for war. My AK was in my hand. The AK rifle was ready to fire any second. It was cocked. Only I have to press the trigger, and it is always in my hand this way. And my senior gave me a report, ki, "Sir, 14 jawans are ready to leave for the operation." I said, "Wait, let's do meditation for 2 minutes." And we used to just stand in silence. So sometimes my jawans used to, ask me, "Ki, sir, why this drill? What is the benefit?" I said, "Ki, we have worn this bulletproof. There's no doubt it is for safety. But the moment we do meditation, hamare upar, upon us comes the bulletproof of the Supreme Power, His vibrations. And this bulletproof can be pierced, but that cannot be pierced." And as a result, they could see in 2 years of our stay, nothing happened to us, though we used to go through difficult terrains and very dangerous terrains, but never it happened. Even late night we used to make movements, but everything was safe. So we reached that home. We encircled that house of militant. We went inside. So my informer told me, "Ki sir, this man who is eating lunch is the militant." So I told that man, "Please stand up." So he stood. I says, "What is your name?" He says, "I'm Mr. Javed." I said, "I would like to take you for, with me for interrogation. Please come." He says, "Yes, sir." And without any questioning, he started coming with me. There was a lot of opposition from his wife and relatives, but we brought him to the camp. I asked him one question, first question, "Are you a militant?" He says, "No, sir, I'm not a militant, but I support the militancy. I supported the militancy for a few years." I says, "You have a weapon?" He says, "Yes, I have a weapon." "Which weapon?" He says, "I have a pistol." And then I said, "Why? Why you have a pistol when you are not a militant?" He says, "Sir, when I was supporting the militants, so I used to go with them because they told us in '89 that we will give you freedom." So I thought, which is this freedom they'll give us? And they used to wear dresses like you. So we were confused whether they are army people or who are they. But they used to speak Kashmiri like us. So, but of late I saw that they were not working for freedom. They are looting, doing all sorts of wrong acts. So I left them, and I'm an electrician by profession. So I started my shop, and I do my profession. So one night at 12 o'clock, they came to my house, the militants, because I was not joining them for any acts. So they gave me a threat, कि Mr. Javed, you should start coming with us. In case you do not come, then we will take your daughter, who is 16 years old, with us, and will not leave you. When they said this in a threatening language to Javed, he got, surprised. So he thought, ki, what should I do now? I will not support them, but what should I do? So he managed a pistol and kept in his house. I asked, "Where is that pistol in your house?" He says, "Sir, in case you can come again to my house without any delay, then we can get that pistol, otherwise it will be removed from where I have kept." So I said, "Come." Again we went to his house. Now, normally what a militant does, he will, put that militant in his almirah, in his box, in his, somewhere where we know he must have put. But here I was surprised that the weapon was kept in the kitchen, and that too in the chimney, जिसमें smoke ऊपर जाता है ना, धुआं जाता है, उसके ऊपर अंदर 1 feet में he had kept that pistol in a small, nail was there, and there in a black polythene. So even if I would have peeped in that chimney, I would have seen everything black, and I would have left that chimney. पहले तो हम करते नहीं, we never see inside a chimney, but see his brain. So he went inside, he took that black polythene, he opened, there was a pistol, there was a magazine and 3 rounds. He gave me. I said, "Javed, this is, now you are confessed as a militant, now you have to go into the police custody." He says, "I am ready to go." So his wife came, everyone came, shouted, they started shouting, "Ki, sir, you take the weapon, you do this, you take this, but you leave him." Because they were very worried ki the army may play foul with us. They'll take him, show an encounter, and shoot him. So I told his wife, ki, "Don't worry, we will not do anything like this. We will give him full respect." But she didn't agree. But we were also very strong, so we, by force, we took him from that area, brought him back to the camp. So, whenever you catch a militant or a criminal, in 24 hours you are supposed to hand over to the police. That is a rule of law, then also and today also. But I had, a very good relation with the police personals. People who are into spirituality, one good thing you will find about them, they are very good PR people. Public relations is very good in their life. Why? Because they have that art of communication, and their ego level is very low. So when you have a low ego level, you are able to mix with everyone. You are able to communicate with everyone. And with that communication, you make friends. So I had a personal friendship with SP. So I spoke to him, ki I have caught a militant and I feel I should keep him with me for a few days. He was very friendly to me. He says, carry on, Major Saab, no problem. So this militant was there with me for say around 1 month. So when 10 days happened with, in custody, so I used to daily meet him for 5-10 minutes. I used to ask him, Javed, how are you? What is happening? What are you doing? What did you do today? Did you read namaz? Did you get food to eat? So he used to think, who is this officer? I was told ki, they are very cruel people. They beat, they are merciless, they abuse, and they break your bones. And he's asking me, how are you? And have you taken food? Have you done namaz? Who is he? So after 10th day, he comes to me with a request, ki, sir, I'm very happy here and I'm very comfortable here in your custody. I want to share something with you. So I said, yes. Sir, I have a information about a militant for you. So militant became a informer. I said, which information you got? Sir, I know a boy in my locality who, whenever he meets me, he keeps crying. Uncle, mujhe bacha lo, uncle, mujhe bacha lo. So I said, kya ho gaya? Kehta, I was into militancy without any, understanding, and I took a weapon from the militants. And now I have to forcefully go with them during my daytime for once in a week, twice in a week. I don't want this thing in my life, but what to do? When I tell them I don't want militancy, they says pay 50,000 rupees for the weapon you took, or you face bullet. So I can't. What should I do? And my parents do not know about this thing. So he keeps crying before me. So I said then what do you want me to do? He says, sir, I know his house. We will go to his house at night 1 o'clock. We'll pick him up. You bash him. When you'll bash him, so the voice will spread and the militants will come to know that he has been apprehended by the army. Then he'll give you his weapon. And sir, good thing about him is that he has got AK rifle. I only gave you pistol. He'll give you AK rifle. And so I said, okay. So we launched that operation. We caught him. We bashed him. The news spread. And next day, from a Hindu Pandit's house, he gave us a AK rifle, 3 magazines and 90 rounds. And I then deposited that boy into the police station with a note that he is innocent, he was misguided, and he should be given a chance. So, such people are taken to the court and they get bail easily. After around 1 month time, this gentleman, our friend, Javed, I felt ki now enough is enough. So one fine day, what happened? I came to know very later on that his wife used to daily move in front of our camp because they were staying just 2 kilometers from our area, and only had one request to the God: ki, can I get one glimpse of my husband? But she was so terrified from the army and from us that she had no strength to come to our gate also. But she is just praying ki, can I just see my husband? Because she was worried whether he is alive or he is dead or what is his condition, I do not know. So she went to university. There was some professor who was in her relation कि भाई साहब मुझे ना मिला दो मेरे husband से. I'm very worried. I can't sleep. I'm not sleeping also. Just one glimpse, 1 second. Just I want to see him and I don't want anything beyond that. So that Kashmiri professor, good man, he came to my colony. He came to our camp with this lady. He says, sir, I am a professor in the Kashmir University. I teach history there. And I have come with a humble request. I said, yes, please, professor, बताइए क्या कर सकते हैं आपके लिए? He says, sir, one of my relations, you have caught him and he has given you a weapon also. His name is Mr. Javed. And his wife is my sister, cousin. We just want to meet him for just 1-2 minutes, if you can permit. So I smiled at that professor. I said, why 1-2 minutes? Why not 1-2 hours? You meet him for 1 hour, there's no problem. I sit down in my visiting room and I'll just call him. So I called the sentry, come here. So he came. I says, call that hero and bring him here. So we used to call Javed, code word was hero for him because he was very good looking. very smart and very handsome looking man. So I told them, call that hero. So my sentry went and, brought Javed. So Javed was coming very smilingly, very happily, because he never knew why he was being called. So when he entered the visiting room, so he saw his wife and his relation. So his wife was shocked to see कि मेरा husband तो मुस्कुरा रहा है. So the first question she asked, आपको कितना मारा? How much was he being? So he said, कि till now I have not been slapped by this officer, and I have been given a lot of respect. I am living here very nicely, and I am comfortable. You don't worry about me. Then for 1 hour they chatted, and that lady, when she came inside, she was fully stressed, and when she was leaving the room, I was watching her. She was absolutely cool and comfortable. Then I told Javed, it is enough. Now we will hand over you to the police. And so I spoke to the SP, कि sir, I am handing over Javed to you. He says, okay, कल आप ले आइए. I wrote in his report कि Javed is a very good Kashmiri Muslim, and due to these reasons he had a weapon in his hand, and he can be given a chance to rectify his mistakes. तो एसपी साहब ने बोला कि कर्नल मेजर साहब, आपने तो कुछ इसको पनिशमेंट ही नहीं दिखा है. आप तो क्या क्या लिखते हैं आप लोग, इतना तो इसको कुछ लिखा भी नहीं आपने. इसको तो भी हम आज ही बेल कोर्ट में पेश कर देंगे. सो ही वाज टेकन टू द कोर्ट. द जज रेड द रिपोर्ट. ही सेज विल गिव यू बेल. So he was given bail, and Javed ji went after getting the bail to his home. The pura colony, the whole colony came to meet him, where he used to stay. The question asked were, what those people said to you? How did they treat you? What they were saying about the Kashmiris? How much did they beat you? How much money were they asking from you? Many questions they were asked. He kept listening first to everyone. Then he says, now keep quiet, let me say. He says, in the camp which I went, I was also of this opinion that I will be treated like a criminal, and I will be treated very harshly. But to my surprise, I will always say a militant should be caught by the army only, because army people are very good. They treat you very respectfully. And I was treated very nicely. There was no demand of any sort. Rather, I was given 3 meals. I was told to read namaz. I was given to water to take bath, and I have come home without a single slap. And I have all my good wishes for them. They were shocked. How can this happen? This has never happened. Then he told his wife, if you permit, can I go to the camp after taking my bath and say thank you to the Major Saab? So he says, you should. So Javed ji took a bath, shower. He took 1 kg of sweets and barfi leke, and he came to my camp, maybe evening 5 o'clock. And I was just strolling in my lawn. So the sentry told me, sir, Javed has come to meet you. So I says, acha, send him. So Javed was now looking like a good hero, because now he was in his absolutely beautiful dress, white safari and all that. So I said, you're looking so smart, yaar. So he says, sir, मैं बस आपके लिए मिठाई लाया हूँ, आपकी टीम के लिए. मैंने why this sweets? कहते नहीं सर, मैं आपको क्या बोलूँ, है ना, मैं आपसे थोड़ा बात कर सकता हूँ. मैंने yes, बैठो. कहता सर, आपने जब मुझे पकड़ा, when you caught me, there were many questions in my mind and my family's mind and our relations, all were thinking all these questions. First, that since I had given you a weapon, you will take me to a jungle. You will say, Javed, you are free bird now. Go wherever you want to go. And from behind, the bullets were fired on me, and it would have been shown as an encounter, a deadly encounter. And मैं तो मर जाता साहब, and you would have got a medal on your chest, and my life was spoiled, my children's all gone. But you did not do that. My relations were ready with some cash, say around 2 lakhs. They were, cash, keeping it ready. In case you open your mouth or your demand is there, we will give you the cash. In case you give any hint, and we will give you the cash. Money you want, whatever you want, we will give you. But you leave him. Don't touch him. But that also never happened. Third, that you will beat me so mercilessly that for 6 months I will be bedridden and my business will go for 6. But that also did not happen. Sir, I just want to tell you one thing today before I leave. Till I am alive, till my family is alive, till I am doing my namaz, you will always be in my prayers. This is the spiritual style of functioning as an army officer. I know many of my army officers. I got a second chance to serve in Kashmir from 2011 to 13. First, I served from 95 to 97. Then I served from 2011 to 13. So when I went for the second time, one day I was speaking to a colonel who was posted along with me there. I said him, tomorrow is Sunday, come, let's go to the city and we will roam around in the city. I told that colonel. He says, what are you talking? Yes, we'll go tomorrow into the city in civil dress. We'll go in civils, not in uniform. And we'll just go around Dal Lake, we'll just visit and come. He says, I cannot even dream of doing that. I said, why? Kehta, you do not know me? I said, no, I don't know you. I just know that you are here with me. Kehta, you see my past. I was one of the deadliest men moving around in this town as a major sahab. And the amount of, operations I have done, the militants are still searching for me. Where is he? Is it? Yes. Kehta, I will never do this thing. But I, next day, in my CVs, went around the Dal Lake, met people, and I came back. See the difference? Because I also stayed there for 2 years as a major. But what was my way of living? Good wishes. Even I was doing all operations against militancy. But then, it was with good wishes. It was not with a, vengeance. And they were doing all operations with their style. And they felt that now we are in the risk zone. So they will not, they never thought of taking any risk. And I used to, roam around in the city. I used to go and meet people with all the precautions. So this is one good example I have shared with you about, the Kashmir. And one small example I'll tell you about Kargil before I wind up. In 2001, I was posted to Kargil. Then I was having 14 years of service. I was posted at 17,000 feet. When we say 17,000 feet, it means 8 feet of snow. Minus 20-degree temperature. And for 6 months, the area is blocked with snow. So how do you live? All tinned food. Tinned ration is there for you. Dry fruits are there for you. And for bathing, you have to use snow. For drinking water, you have to use snow. And I was there for 1.5 years in that area. And at 17,000 where I was staying, at 17,500 and at a gap of 50 meters, just 50 meters, was the post of the enemy. So who is the enemy there? Pakistan is the enemy there. So they were 500 feet above my post and they were just 50 meters from me. So initially when we went, they were very good to us, very quiet, and they had no problem with us. We had no problem with them. But after 3 months, they started one small act in which we were not happy. They had 3 good bunkers facing us. They started building the 4th bunker. So when they started building the 4th bunker, we had a problem. Why? When they have already got 3 bunkers, why the 4th bunker? So we told them politely, very respectfully, कि साथी, ये आप क्या कर रहे हो? इसको बंद कर दो. We used to talk them and call them Sati. So they did not listen. They kept with their work. So when it was half built, we showed them the red flag. So what is red flag? Danger, warning. They still did not stop. And when it became 3/4, so we spoke to the commanding officer. So there was a young officer. He was a captain. And I was staying just next to him. And this officer gave me a call, sir, they are not stopping, so we should fire at them. So I said, okay, we'll speak to the commanding officer. The commanding officer was consulted. He says, you please fire on them if they are not stopping. He was very happy when he used to ask him for firing. He used to feel very happy. If you say, no, sir, I want to stay in peace, he used to get angry. What peace? Which peace are you talking about? But the moment I used to say, no, sir, I want to fire at the enemy, he used to be very happy. He used to bless me. So I said, sir, we want to fire at him. He says, please fire at him. So this officer, took his machine gun and fired 2 rounds in air, not at the enemy, in air, just to frighten him, and kept quiet. This enemy of ours at 17,500 got chiseled, got angry. He had 3 bunkers, as I said to you. He armed all of them. He told his Jawans, fire at this post. And fire till I do not, then the commander of the said, fire till I don't say stop. And they started firing on us. We also retaliated, we also started firing on them. Now we are firing from down to up, and they are firing from up to down. Which will be more effective? Up to down. So when this firing continued for say around 2 hours, so we came under pressure. Achha, we thought he is firing today, by evening he will be quiet. But this didn't happen. For 3 days and 3 nights, his firing continued in some form or the other. 1 hour break, firing start. Night 1 o'clock, firing. So when it happened for 3 days, this young officer who was there, he got nervous because he was very young officer. He gave me a call, ki sir, I'm totally confused what to do. I said, don't worry, we'll take a decision. So my commanding officer gave me a call, ki Major Sati, I feel you should go to that post and relieve that young officer because now the situation is difficult and I think you can handle it better. I says, right, sir. So this order was given to me at night 9 o'clock. And the distance I had to travel was a bit, but then I took these orders and we reached there at night around say 11 o'clock, 11:30. And the firing was continuing till 11 o'clock from the enemy side. So again, as I said, the moment I used to get a operation order, I used to start giving vibrations to that place, those positive vibes. So when I reached there, the firing was not there. I met that officer, young officer. So as I said to you, I never abused anyone in the army. I never abused anyone in the army. So I said to him, friend, you have done a good job. You are a very good officer. You go to that post down below at 16,000 feet. And when I require you, I'll call you and I'll handle this situation now. The moment I took the charge, I, meditated for 1 minute. And I just said one thing to the God. I said, I have come here on a duty and I have been told to take over this post and to see the safety of this post and the men. I will do my job, but you will give me your blessings and you will guide me. I'll be your instrument. This is how we say in spirituality, and we give the responsibility to him and just become an instrument. We call the word trustee here. So next day morning, my Havaldar Saab came to me at 10 o'clock. He says, sir, you are our company commander. We have served with you from last 12 years. We know you nicely. And the enemy has started firing till now, but anytime he can fire on us. So before he fires, should we start the firing on him? I says, can you wait for some more time? I want to see his strategy, then we will take the call. So at 1 o'clock, I was served the lunch. I started having the lunch. And my stay, I was staying in a bunker of 8 by 8 feet. It was a wooden, not wooden, iron bunker, 8 by 8 feet. And the roof had around 6 feet of, mud layer. Why? Because if there is a shell on the roof and my bunker blasts, I can come out safely, or I'm not killed. I'm still safe to come out. So the room, and my bed was, what was my bed where I was sleeping for the night? It was 6 tins, that in which the oil comes, and empty tins, and a ply over them. A ply was kept over that, and I was told, this is a bed, and there was a mattress and a sleeping bag for me. And my bathroom, I can't describe my bathroom, how pathetic it was. And in a spiritual lifestyle in Brahma Kumaris, we take bath twice a day, not once, morning and evening. And there, even I ask people, what is your schedule of taking bath? They say, sir, we take bath once in 15 days. And why? They say, it is so cold, how can we take bath daily? But just for your information, I stayed there for 1.5 years, and I took bath on daily basis, whether it was -20 or whether it was 2 degree. My bath never stopped. So then at 1 o'clock, the moment I was having my lunch, firing started from the enemy side. I went out, I saw what is happening. The enemy is firing heavily onto us, heavily. I just kept quiet. I told my Jawans, fire him back. They also started firing. Again, we are firing from down to up. He's firing from up to down, so he was effective. After 2 hours, I could feel this is not the way we should reply him. We have to change our strategy. Now, what to do? So I sat in meditation for 2 minutes, and I got a intuition that you fire mortars round. Mortars. We have got a weapon called as तोप. हिंदी में इसको तोप बोलते हैं और इंग्लिश में इसको मोटर बोलते हैं. The area that they cover is around 5 kilometers. They cover. They can travel for 5 kilometers. That shell. So we had 8 such mortars in our battalion, but firing them is very risky. Why? Because the moment a mortar shell falls onto an area, the 100 feet area will turn into rubble, mud. So we were only 50 meters at a distance of 50 meters. So the seniors couldn't take that risk. So I asked my boss, sir, could you give me the support of the mortar rounds, the mortar? He says, no, I cannot give you. I said, why? He says, there is a risk that you may get killed. I convinced him, sir, I am there on the post, and I assure you, we will be safe. He says, okay. Then he just fired 1 round of mortar, only 1. And that fell on our boundary. On our boundary it fell, and our wall broke. I say, sir, not to worry. You please fire the next single round with some height. So then it fell between the 2 posts, that is Army, India and Pakistan. Third, again some height, it fell onto their wall. Fourth, with some better height, it went straight into their head. The moment it went onto their head, I said, sir, can you fire all the 8 mortars now? He says, now I can fire. So 8 mortars were opened, and around 100 rounds were fired on the enemy. This was evening 5:30. So the enemy, till 3rd day, he was feeling very, dominant. I have silenced these people. I'll kill them also one day. But after these mortar rounds, he became very meek, very quiet. And there was a lot of noise in his camp. So we could feel there is some casualty they have suffered. Whole night he did not fire, whole night. Next day morning at 9 o'clock, my Havaldar Saab came. He says, sir, what to do? I say, we should say good morning to this man, to this enemy, to this neighbor. He said, how will we do that? I said, we'll fire again 100 rounds on them. So he was said good morning, and those 100 rounds were put on him. Now for 15 days thereafter, no firing from Pakistan side. But yes, one thing he was doing. All that he could see in front of him, and which were our area, line of communication for water, for storage, that he stopped for us. By day or night, if he saw any movement, he used to fire. That was only hindrance which we had to face. Rest, no firing. For 15 days this happened, and we had a life which was, similar to like the life of a hell, because you cannot walk, you have to crawl, you cannot use light, you cannot move in open, and everything was happening. But I was continuing with my meditation. I was continuing with my positive thought process. So I got a very strong feeling that this enemy is there, but there is an enemy bigger than this, and that is the snow. That was the month of October when this firing started, and I was told that November onwards the snow will start, and by December end it will be 5, 6, 7, 8 feet of snow. And if you do not prepare for the snow, the enemy bullet may not kill you. But if you get, अगर आप फिसल जाएंगे स्नो में, you are dead. इसको हम बोलते हैं physical casualties. In army we have 2 types of casualties. One is battle casualty, where you are hit by a bullet and you died. One is a physical casualty, that you did not die with the bullet, but you slipped and you went into a crevice and you died. You will get all benefits, but it is a physical casualty. So I thought, what to do now? He is also not stopping, and next enemy is coming. But I'm telling you, meditation and spirituality makes you very strong from within and gives you the power to take quick, correct, wise and winning decisions. So I took a decision कि now I have to establish peace in this post. I have to be peaceful here and have good relations with this enemy now. So I spoke to my CEO, my commanding officer. I said to him, sir, as you know, you have placed me here and we are facing the enemy, but then I've seen he's now, he's quiet. So I want to, create peace in this post and fight for the enemy number 2, and that enemy number 2 is the snow. For some time he did not understand my language because I said, he never understood peace. For him it was fire, 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 and fire. Keep firing. So he did not accept that, and then I convinced him, very politely. So he says, okay, Sati, I understand your language. Now I have understood you. So who will establish this peace? I said, sir, I will establish. You can? I said, yes, sir. He says, okay, go ahead. So I called my Jawan. I said, come here. He says, yes, sir. You speak to the Pakistanis in the past? He said, yes, sir. We used to call them Sati. Tell today, आज बोलना उनको, साथी हमारे टाइगर आपके टाइगर से कल शाम 4 बजे बात करेंगे. The tiger of India will talk to the tiger of Pakistan tomorrow evening at 4 o'clock. This Jawan of mine started shouting to the enemy side. They did not respond. But after 1 hour, they says, yes, साथी आप क्या बोल रहे हो? He says, हमारे टाइगर आपके टाइगर से कल शाम 4 बजे बात करना चाहते हैं. अच्छा, मैं पूछ के बताता हूँ. He went. The answer was, yes, we are ready for the talks. Next day evening, 4 o'clock, my Jawans on that boundary wall with the weapons aiming at Pakistan standing. They are on their boundary wall facing us. We are at 17,000, they are at 17,500. I was told, ki, sir, everything is ready, you can come. So the moment I left my room, again, as I said to my drill, I did my meditation. I got a very clear intuition that everything is going to be okay now. So my Jawan said me, sir, your weapon? I said, nothing doing, no weapon. I just walked, went between the Jawans. There was a small step. I stood on that step. Now from chest, from this level till my head, I was visible to the Pakistanis, and I just waved this way. I says, Tiger, this is Major Ravi from India. Though I am Major Sati, but I said him, Major Ravi, and I did this way. And what I could see from the opposite side, this much small hand was here, shaking. So I can tell you very nicely, Pakistanis are very darpok people, very darpok people. I have seen them very closely. It is all, bandar ki hudki hoti hai unki. They say so many things, but when it comes to war, they are very terrified. So I said him, Tiger, since few many days we are fighting at each other, and because of some point, we clashed. But now I am assuring you today that from India, there will be no firing at your post, and you can freely make your movements. This is, I give an offer to the Pakistani side. Now he is the enemy number 1. He can accept my offer or he can tell me anything, whatever he finds. But see the power of meditation, see the power of good wishes, and see the power of that supreme power. The answer was very good from the enemy side. The commander, the tiger, says, sir, I am tiger from the Pakistani side, speaking to you. We are peace-loving people. The first statement he made. And I assure you that there will be no firing from Pakistan side onto the Indian side. And we are seeing all your movements have stopped because we are dominating all your positions. Henceforth, please do all your movements freely. We will not fire at you. You can move to your water point. You can move to your stores. Whatever you want, we will not fire at you. I said, friend, I am from Agra. You with your family visit Agra. He says, sir, I am from some place, he said me, and you visit that. For 1 hour we spoke to each other. In the night I saw the sentries, कह रहे हैं एक दूसरे को, साथी बहुत दिन हो गए, एक शेर सुना दे यार. तो अभी उनकी शेरो शायरी चलने लगी है ना, दे आर डूइंग शेरो शायरी. Next day morning at around 9:30 when I got ready, my Havaldar comes, कि sir that Pakistani Jawan is shouting at us. I said, what is he saying? He is saying, Sati, आप लोग हरकत करो, आप लोग हरकत करो. So I said, yes, we are friends now. कहता है, sir, you do not know. He is Pakistani. मुंह में राम, बगल में छुरी. सर हम जैसे जाएंगे ना, ये मशीन गन खोल देगा. और पता चला 20 लाशें पड़ी हुई हैं सबकी. मैंने यार ये भी बात सही है. बट डोंट वरी, लेट मी टेक द चांस. I did my meditation, I left the room, and now I went and stood at a place in front of the enemy where from tip to toe he was seeing me nicely, very nicely, and his machine gun was on me, pointed at me. I saw the enemy, Jawan, and I sit this way, smilingly. I just did this way. He also waved his hand at me and smiled. Then I was just strolling in that area. Then I saw my Havaldar. He was hiding. I said, Havaldar sahab, bahar aa jao. Did anything happen to me? Nothing happened to you. So don't worry, nothing will happen to anyone. Come out and we will start the repair work of whatever he has damaged. He had damaged a lot of our stores. Then I gave a call to the commanding officer. I said, sir, yesterday, if you recollect, I had asked you that we want to establish peace in this post. And I want to give you a good news that the peace has been established so soon. I said, yes, sir. And if you would like to come, you can come and see how pathetic condition we are staying in. He says, I'm coming. In 24 hours, he also came. He saw the post. He says, Sati, do you want any items? I say, sir, this is the list. You please send me. I will make this post one of the best posts of the battalion. He says, okay. He sent me men and a lot of materials. And I made a very good post. I made a very good bathroom for myself because, as I said I take twice bath in a day. And for 1.5 years, I stayed there thereafter. And the best part of those 1.5 years was that we never fired a single round. And we had no casualty, either battle or physical, no casualty. From there, we went to Meerut. Peacefully, we entered Meerut. All safe, all good, all okay. One fine day in April 2003 or 2004, I met a Colonel Saab in a big gathering. He says me, Major Sati, how are you? I says, I'm very fine. अरे यार तेरे को पाकिस्तान वाले याद कर रहे थे. So I says, how come? कहते हैं, अरे, you know, we had replaced you in that post where you were. I know, sir. कहता है, 2003 February you left. Yes, sir. 2003 December, the ceasefire has taken place in that entire belt from Siachen till Jammu. So there is no more firing between India and Pakistan. So that I said, I am aware, sir, after that accord between Musharraf and Vajpayee ji. He says in January 2004, when there was no firing at all, at night, 9 o'clock plus, of one of our Jawans in the post where you stayed, came out to get fresh. And while he was in the process of walking, he slipped because there was snow. And he went down into the Pakistan side. He died, and we did not know the whole night we were searching him. Next day morning, we could see him lying down in the Pakistan side, and he was dead. So we waved the white flag. They also waved the white flag. Then I, as a CO, commanding officer, went with my team. They also came. And for 1 hour, we had a very good conversation, and they gave us the body very respectfully. And at the last, they asked me one question. So he says, I said, sir, what they asked? They said, ki, sir, there was an officer of yours, a Major Sati, in that post of... So they said, no, he was not Major Sati, he was Major Ravi. He says, sir, do not undermine the enemy. The enemy has got all particulars of your officers. So we should be very careful these days. We are seeing so many fraud happening because the enemy is very active. So I says, sir, what did they say? They says, ki, sir, we have nothing against that officer, because I asked, ki, why are you asking about that officer? What is the problem? He says, no, there is nothing against that officer. We just want to tell you that that officer stayed for a very long time in that post. Normally, never one stays so long. They just stay for 3-4 months. But this officer stayed for more than 1.5 years. And the best part of the officer was that, जियो और जीने दो. So sir, if you meet him, tell him that from we, the Pakistanis, हम सलाम उसको भेज रहे हैं. तो spirituality is such a beautiful lifestyle कि अपने जवान तो हमें बहुत सलाम करते हैं, वो तो उनको ऑर्डर भी है सलाम करने का, पर अगर दुश्मन सलाम भेज रहा है तो आप समझ सकते हो. With these words, thank you. Om Shanti.
ओम शांति. पिक्चर देखा. It was no less than a movie. Yes? How do you feel by listening all these things from an officer who worked in that level and a spiritualist doing all these things? What is your feeling when you hear all these things? Yes. Yeah? Yes, we are very much proud of him. योगी चला आपका. Yeah, that's why I said you don't miss it. Come. You know, this experience I have heard tens of times. Tens of times. YouTube also is there. Whenever I feel little low, I hear his experience. And a lot of respect is there personally for me, for Colonel Sati ji. A lot of respect. And he also loves me, respect me a lot. That is what I feel. Since many years, I have been with him. I went to the battalion also when he was working in Mount Abu, and I had privilege to travel with him and go inside and see all the battalion and all the places of worship and different places, and even his office, his house, everywhere I've been. And I really feel, हम तो बहुत दूर से देखते हैं ना आर्मी वालों को या आर्मी पोस्ट को या वॉर जोन. We don't go physically. We all see in the movies. But when I went to all these places, I feel so happy and I feel so contented. कितना देश के लिए करते हैं, है ना? तो कर्नल साहब को मैं क्या बोलूँ, बहुत दिल से आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि ये टाइम आपने दिया. And you know, he is here for some other programs in Secunderabad. In Secunderabad, Ghatkesar, near Ghatkesar, we have another small retreat center called Silence Retreat Center. And he had come there for some other program. But since many years, I have been asking him, before lockdown, I have been asking him, you must come and share in the Sunday evening, talk your experience, because I am hearing this experience since many years. So I have been asking him. So he said when it was finalized, I was going to Madhuban, Mount Abu, just on 13th of last month. He called me specially. वसंताबेन मैं आ रहा हूँ. मैंने बोला अभी मैंने सुना दूसरों से, अभी मैं ही पूछने वाली थी संडे टॉक के लिए. तो he is there in SRC, Silence Retreat Center, but he specially made time to come here. And when he came, he said, other programs है वहाँ पर, तो मेरे को 7:30 को निकलना है वसंताबेन. मेरे को तो ऐसा लग रहा था मैं कुछ भी मिस करना नहीं चाहती हूँ कि आपके जो एक्सपीरियंसेस है सब सुने और सब उसी एक्सपीरियंस को पाए. जब ही सेड 7:30, I said at least 7:45 भाई साहब. And then while listening now, I said our audience caught you so nicely that you couldn't go away from me. So big round of applause for you also, that you caught hold him so nicely that he couldn't go. So one salute, one round of applause to Bhai Sahab also. We all stand up and a standing ovation for Colonel Sati ji. We are so proud of you. We are so happy And we are very much privileged to have you on this Sunday evening talk here. And of course, he will be coming. He said, फिर से आऊँगा, फिर से बताएंगे और भी experiences यहाँ आने के पहले. लेकिन अभी भी इतना भरपूर किया कि a new way of looking things, है ना? आर्मी हो या पाकिस्तान हो, किस नज़र से हम रहते हैं. लेकिन ऐसे लोग हैं जो बहुत क्लोजली ऑब्जर्व करके आए हैं. आई डोंट हैव एनी वर्ड्स टू से. इट्स ऑल दिल के फीलिंग है आपके प्रति. बहुत रेस्पेक्ट है, बहुत प्यार है, शुभ भावनाएं हैं. और हम ये ऐसे ही शुभ भावनाओं को पूरे आर्मी को भेजेंगे, पूरे पाकिस्तान को भी भेजेंगे और सभी को अच्छे जीवन जीने के लिए जियो और जीने दो जो बताया. यही संदेश हम सभी को गुड विशेस के द्वारा, मेडिटेशन के द्वारा भेजते रहेंगे. जब भी कुछ सुनेंगे ना ऐसे गलत न्यूज़ आता है, कुछ चल रहा है, तो वो तो होगा. अभी बताया ना, स्पिरिचुअलिटी से जब करेंगे और वेंजेंस से सब करेंगे, दोनों में फ़र्क है ना. तो डोंट हैव दैट वेंजेंस बट have that peace in the mind and do whatever you need to do. He is great example of whatever he need to do, he did it. But peace in the heart, good wishes in the heart. How that worked? See, that is the greatness or speciality of spirituality. He is a great example of spirituality in daily life. We don't need to say that spirituality करने वाले कैसे रहेंगे, लेकिन ऐसे रहेंगे. एक योगी रहेंगे, एक साधु रहेंगे, एक मिलिट्री ऑफिसर रहेंगे और सभी के लिए शांति लाने वाले रहेंगे. ऐसे रहेंगे स्पिरिचुअलिटी के लोग. तो no less than anyone else in the world. So thank you once again, Sati bhai. He will be here for next few days in Hyderabad and Secunderabad. 12th, if anyone is from defense side, military, police, anyone here? अच्छा, आप है. तो आपके लिए स्पेशल इनविटेशन है, सभी के लिए नहीं है, इसीलिए हम संडे टॉक में नहीं बताया. ऑन 12th वी हैव ए वेरी ह्यूज प्रोग्राम इन आवर ऑडिटोरियम फ्रॉम 10 to 1 o'clock, स्पेशली फॉर security services, those who are offering in security services. So thank you very much once again, and we will have few more items left, so please have seat, but he will be taking leave. Thank you once again.
All of you enjoyed the session? Felt very good? Anyone wants to share the experience? All right. So I personally, after listening to his entire story, it kind of felt even more better as to how beautifully we can merge the patriotism along with spirituality. You don't have to always let go of your duty in order to be spiritual. He has beautifully explained through his life